All right, guys. So we're still on the chapter 4 assessment breakdown. We're on the fifth part of it. We're going to be discussing the 5 questions, which were in reference to the polygon sum, meaning how many degrees are inside of a polygon or how many sides does a polygon have. So let's take a look at the questions. This first question here that we have here, they give us one angle, another angle, and 3 angles of a particular triangle. And they ask us, what is the measure in degrees of angle 2? Well, I know that a triangle has 180 degrees. So if I add all of these 3 angles together, they should equal to 180. And that's what I did here. 4x plus 3x plus 10 plus 2x minus 17, and I said it equals to 180. After I do that, I can just combine like terms. Instead of equal to 180, subtract from both sides, bring down my 9x is equal to this, divide both sides by 9, and I get x is equal to 17. Make sure you take the time to practice this step. Once I know that x is 17 though, now I can answer the question for the measure of angle 2. Since x is 17, I can multiply 3 times 17 plus 10 to get the answer that I'm looking for. Notice that 17 is one of my choices, but is that the answer? I don't think so. So make sure that you take all these angles, you add them together, set them equal to 180, solve for x, and then substitute at the end. In the next question that we have here, they tell us that we have a polygon and that they've given us an interior angle of 120 degrees. They tell us that when Jennifer completes the regular polygons, what should be the sum of degrees of the measures inside of the polygon? So they give me an angle. They told me that one of the angles is 120 degrees. They probably got that from using this formula, n minus 2 times 180, and then I divided by the number of sides to get the measure of this angle. But the thing is, all I know is that this angle is 120 degrees. That doesn't tell me anything else about the angle. So they want to know how many degrees I have inside here. Well, in order to do that, I need to know how many sides it has. So I get a little creative. I draw an external angle. I know that if I have an internal angle and an external angle, let me draw this out a little bit here. I know that if I have an internal angle and an external angle, that they're a linear pair, meaning that they add up to 180. So if this is 120, this is going to be 60 degrees. So then, 60 degrees. So I know that all of the external angles are all going to be what? 60 degrees. Well, if you remember, we said that the exterior of a polygon has how many degrees on the outside? If you guessed 360, you guessed correctly. Every polygon, doesn't matter if it's a square, triangle, or pentagon, has an exterior sum of 360. So if I take 360 degrees and divide it by all of the external angles, which are 60, that's going to tell me how many sides I have, which is going to be 6. So I know that I have 6 sides. Being that I have 6 sides, well, now I can answer the question that they were asking me before. The question was asking me, well, how many degrees should I have in the interior of this polygon? Well, I know what the formula is to find that. And now that I know how many sides I have, I can answer that question. 6 minus 2 times 180, 4 times 180, and that's going to tell me that I should have about 720 degrees. So remember, when they give you an internal angle, you can find the external angle, and with that external angle, you can find out how many sides your polygon has. Then I have a question that looks like this. I have a shape that looks like this, and the question is, what is the measure in degrees of angle A? Well, it's just one angle here. Well, first I need to know is how many degrees do I have inside this entire polygon. So I'd probably count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's an octagon. So using the formula n minus 2 times 180, I can figure out how many degrees are inside this polygon. And once I know how many degrees are inside of here, well, then all I need to do is divide by the number of angles or the number of sides to get the measure of one of the angles. Finally, if this looks familiar, it should. This is very similar to the first question. It says a portion of a regular polygon is shown, meaning they're showing me the exterior portion. They want to know how many sides this polygon has. Well, this is an external angle of 24 degrees, meaning that all of the external angles are going to be 24 degrees. If you remember, how many degrees are there on the exterior of any polygon? How many degrees are there on the exterior of any polygon? Well, there are 360 degrees. And if I take 360 and divide it by the measure of one of the exterior angles, 24, that's going to tell me how many sides I have. So if I take 360 and divide it by 24, I'll know exactly how many sides this polygon has. And those are the polygon sum questions.